Good afternoon, everyone. It's Louise here from Eleanor Grace. I'm going to do a little series for you over the next few weeks on herringbone stitch. I have already done a basic herringbone stitch video, which I will add to this playlist so you can see that goes into a bit more detail about the general herringbone stitch. But I'm going to show you some variations as well now. And herringbone is a really lovely stitch, and it is quite a well used one, but there are, as I say, some nice variations, so we'll have a look at those. Herringbone is like a cross stitch, but it's always a bit wider, sometimes a bit taller, sometimes both. So as you can see, I've done it here in different yarns and threads and in different sort of sizes. I'm going to show you very quickly the basic stitch, but as I say, do have a look out for the herringbone stitch I did. It's one of the first videos I made, so it may be somewhere back in my repertoire on YouTube, but do have a look for that, and I will show you some variations of it as well. So as you can see, it's a sort of cross stitch, but a wider one generally, and that's the sort of look you're going for. Now, I have asked advice previously on this from a member of my group who comes from a heritage where you know, you would have the words wigwam and teepee used. That's, to me, is what the stitch looks like, and that's the easiest way I can explain it to you, rather than being a straight cross like a cross stitch. It's sort of overlapped, so you're doing one edge and then you're coming back and doing the next. So I'm just going to show you that, and we will get into doing some of the variations. Now, apologies if you can hear anything in the background. There is one of my neighbours is having some work done. I've waited all day to see if it quietens down, which it has a bit, but I'm going to have to carry on. And I think Ella might want to come and join us, which will be really helpful. So just bear with me, and we will get on to doing a variation of herringbone stitch. So I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. So the initial stitch, and you can decide, some people do find it helpful to have two lines drawn, but I sort of think this is slow stitching, and my you know, it's not meant to be perfect, so I'm quite happy just to do it by eye. But it is a really good stitch to, if you're doing a slow stitching piece where you're putting you know, collage of fabrics together, it's a very good stitch to put two pieces together. I usually start it, if this is the dividing line between the two fabrics, I usually start it on one side, go over to the other, and I've used that on several of my pieces. So what you do is a first diagonal stitch, which is quite wide, and then you come back on yourself just a little bit to make a narrow opening at the top, if you like. And what I then do is I usually hold the thread with my thumb and I roll it. I keep a bit of tension on there, but I roll it until it looks to me like it is roughly the right sort of width. That's the way I do it. But as I say, have a look at the it would help if I went in the right way, wouldn't it? It's one of those days today. And yeah, have a look at the other video for more detail about how to do it. I'm just going to make a little line of these just to show you the first one in the varieties that we're going to have here over the next few weeks of different herringbone stitches and similar stitches, which are, you know, very similar. So again, I'm sort of holding with a bit of tension, holding that, and just by eye roughly. It's never going to be perfect, and it's not meant to be. I just come back on myself a little bit and then move along to the next stitch. So can do a few of those. It is a very attractive stitch, I think. It's one that I used to use an awful lot, and I've sort of got out of the habit. So I'm thinking maybe this series of videos will get me back into using herringbone a bit more, because I do love the look of it. So It's quite good if you've got an even weave or a linen that's got holes, because you can give a rough, it gives you a bit more of a rough estimate if you're on the right lines, if you're not drawing them in. But I like to be a bit free and loose with it, so that's my ideal stitching scenario. So there we are, we have a few here. I think I might just do one or two more. I should have come down slightly on that one. As you can see, it's a little bit raised up from the others, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just do a couple more so we can get a nice line of them. So just coming back on yourself a little bit each time to make that opening at the top, and then you're doing the same at the bottom, just coming back on yourself once you've put that side down. Right, I think that will probably do. I think I'll do one more full one. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to tie off that one now, because I'm going to change colour. Now you can do this in the same colour, or you can do it you know, with a contrasting colour, which I think looks quite spectacular, depending on what colour you go for. So I'm going to pick quite a contrast. I'm going to pick this. This was a linen thread, but it is about the thickness of a cotton perlé 8, and this is a cotton perlé 8 in this lovely sort of teal colour that I've used there. So I'm just going to thread that up, and we're going to do the first variant of a herringbone stitch, which is called a tied herringbone stitch. Now this is, I've seen this done in several different ways, so I will show you first of all the way that is sort of the official. So when you've made your little chain here of herringbone stitches, you come up just in between the top of the two stitches. Now if you're right-handed, you're probably going to go right to left, and you would have worked right to left anyway. I'm left-handed, so I always go left to right, but it's up to you, whichever feels more comfortable. So you want to start at the top of the two threads, and then very simply you're just going to do a little downward stitch to tie that in place. And as I say, this is quite simply called tied herringbone stitch, and then you always go from the outside in. So I've come from the top down, and then I go from the bottom up. So you always, well, you're actually going the opposite way, but you always go the same route, in that you're going from the outside in towards the centre, and you just literally do a little downwards stitch, and again coming from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom. And hopefully if your stitches are fairly even, you should be able to go along quite nicely without too much problem. So we're going up there, and then in between there, and it's nice to have a little bit of extra decoration. As I say, you could do this in the same thread. It wouldn't give so much of a pop of colour, but it would give the same, obviously give the same sort of result. And there we go. So let's come up to the last couple, and that is just a tied herringbone stitch. So I have also seen it done, and I haven't got quite enough thread to go all the way back, but I will start it. I have also seen it done where you both go down and across, and I don't know if that's got a particular name. I can probably start it off with this, but I'm running out of this thread. So again, you could really, if you wanted to make a cross over them, you could do it as a cross from the start. You'd probably use a lot less thread. I'm going to just start coming back here. So on this one, I'm just going to go from the outside in. So I'm going to go to the right of that end stitch. Over to the left. And as you can see, it just creates quite a nice little design. And I've seen people doing this in different colours. Now, I think technically, again, you should probably alternate with the other stitches, but I'm so short of thread here. I'm only going to get this far. But I think, actually, personally, I think that looks nicer than just doing the one. But I quite like doing the simple tied herringbone stitch as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to find myself some more of this yarn so I can, this thread, so I can finish this off. And I will be, next week, I will be doing a very exciting video for you. So that is coming up. Unfortunately, I'm still having issues with YouTube regarding my membership, so I haven't managed to resolve that yet. But in the meantime, I'm going to create some content for everybody, and then I will get back, hopefully as soon as we can resolve it, to sorting out some videos just for members. So I will let you know as soon as that's resolved. I'm going to bring this back just to show you the basic stitch and how differently it looks with a different very fine thread there with thick wool. You can do it with any thread or yarn that you've got. But yes, give that a go. Maybe you can do slightly more sort of not so wide ones, really sort of stood up and slightly closer together, or you can just give it a go on the general one and then just try doing some tying in and see how that looks. So yeah, I've quite enjoyed that, and I'm going to get some more thread and finish that off. So next week the video will be a special one. I'm going to release some information on that shortly, and then the week after I will be doing another one of these where we're going to do a couple more types of herringbone, and these are some of my favorite ones we're going to do in 2 weeks time, so do have a look out for that. In the meantime, I shall create a little playlist so I can add the general herringbone stitch video, and then you know, you've got it all in one place, so you can watch that if you wanted to get more detail on the exact how to for herringbone stitch. Thanks very much, and I will see you again soon. Bye.